In this video I will go over every opponent Ippo has faced in his professional boxing career and look at what they have done after facing Ippo and what has become of them ever since. Some of them went on to achieve great success in the world of boxing, while others became straight up broken after facing off against Ippo, like Ippo's first opponent Oda. Before facing off against Ippo, Oda had already lost the fire to compete at a professional level, but after his girlfriend threatened to leave him, his passion began to rise again. In the end, he lost the fight with Ippo defeating him with right jabs while using the southpaw stance for the first time. Oda thought that his career was over, but luckily for him, his coach still accepted him into his gym and his girlfriend remained by his side. This would be the last time we heard from Oda until almost 1,000 chapters later. Then we see Oda, who has become fat and a boxing trainer. He revealed that after facing Ippo, he has lost the motivation to compete in the professional boxing since he had no chance against monsters like Ippo. He became depressed, ate a lot and then became a trainer at his previous coach's gym. It is also worth mentioning that his girlfriend is not mentioned once when he reappeared, leading me to believe that they split up. Oda has become one of the most washed up characters Ippo has faced, but some characters have faced an equal or even worse fate after facing off against Ippo. But before we get to them, we have Ippo's second opponent, whom nobody remembers. This guy is unimportant to the plot and was only there for Ippo to have another win in his record, so let's forget about him. However, a character a lot of you probably have not forgotten is the wholesome machine Jason Osama. He is one of the nicest guys in the entire series and had a lot of potential, being an American soldier living in Japan and training in a supportive family-like gym. After Osama's loss to Ippo, he had another off-screen boxing match that he won. Later, it was revealed that he had to retire from boxing due to a spine injury he had suffered in his match against Ippo. We never see Jason again after his match against Ippo, nor does his former gym mention him at all, even though they appeared to be close as a family. Ippo's next opponent was later the true underdog of Hajime no Ippo, Kenta Kobashi. He lacked any punching power, so he made up for it by relying purely on strategies and points. After his loss to Ippo, Kobashi moved down a weight class to compete in the junior featherweight division. Then he had to fight for the Japanese junior featherweight championship against Hayami, which happened after Mashiba and Kimura's match. A significant event cut entirely from the anime, despite its importance in solidifying why Ippo remained retired from boxing. Kobashi won the fight and reached his goal of becoming a champion. Later down the story, during the Ippo vs Sawamura arc, a scene that was also cut from the anime shows Kobashi meeting up with Ippo and Itadaki. He reveals that he was not able to defend his championship even once, implying that he relinquished it right after winning it or lost it during his first defense. He announced his retirement to Ippo and expressed his desire to transition to a coaching career. Almost 1,000 chapters later, we see Kobashi with his own disciples. The next boxer closely related to Kobashi is up there with the most broken boxer after facing Ippo. Hayami had the charisma, looks and skills to become a top tier boxer in the series. However, he ultimately lost to Ippo during the Rookie Kings tournament. Like Kobashi, he moved down a weight class to junior featherweight, where he secured some wins before facing off against Kobashi for the title. Hayami ultimately lost the fight when his coach threw in the towel. His coach mentioned that ever since his match against Ippo, Hayami had developed a glass jaw, meaning his jaw had become so fragile that even slight hits would cause him to crumble and go down. Nearly 1,000 chapters later, with Ippo retired, we are reintroduced to Hayami during a match. Initially, everything seemed to be going smoothly until we learned that the match is unranked, and Hayami is on a losing streak with a total of 11 losses. Kobashi observed all of Hayami's matches after winning against him, and mentioned that Hayami had become a completely broken boxer, delusional about his once promising boxing career. He had wanted to create a legacy, but now he couldn't secure a single win due to his broken jaw. Hayami ultimately lost the fight and became frustrated. He couldn't stop what he once started and resolved to either complete his legacy or end everything in the ring. Since his loss, we never see Hayami again. Presumably, he's either still losing unranked matches to this day, or he has retired at this point, which is very tragic to see. But the same cannot be said about Ippo's next opponent, Mashiba. Mashiba has become something like a main character after his loss to Ippo. As you guys know, he moved up the weight class and became the Japanese junior lightweight champion. He had his classic match against Kimura, continued to dominate the division, became close friends with Itadaki, and saw more to soften up a bit. Then he had his infamous match against Sawamura, where he wanted to take revenge by beating him up for laying his hands on Kumi. Ultimately, Mashiba beat Sawamura senselessly, even after going unconscious, until Sawamura was knocked out of the ring, hitting his head first on the concrete floor. Mashiba got disqualified, lost both his title at world ranking, and was suspended from from professional boxing for an entire year. After a year has passed, he bulked up to the lightweight division and got the shot at the OPBF title, which he won with the support of his fan club cheering for him. Yes, Mashiba has his own fan club, created by his co-workers who support him in every match after his return. He then relinquished the OPBF title after defeating the Japanese lightweight champion Iga, and moved up to the world stage. Mashiba faced off against the previous world champion Juan Garcia in a preliminary match for the world championship. Through Ippo's advice, he managed to defeat the previous world champion and was on his way to face off against the current lightweight world champion Marcos Rosario. Mashiba has abandoned his antisocial rebellious nature and vowed to never cheat in a fight again after his fight against Sawamura. He really tries to be a better person throughout the course of the manga and creates bonds that were not there previously. In the current state of the manga, he is in the match against Marcos Rosario, and we need to wait to see the outcome of the fight. Now, moving from our main character to another, Sendo has made significant achievements too. After his second loss to Ippo, Sendo retired from boxing for a year, and then specifically fought against Mexican boxers to get used to their style. He fought against the Mexican featherweight champion and ranked 5th in the world, Jose Nargo, who is also the sparring partner for Ricardo Martinez. He defeated Nargo by baiting him for 8 rounds straight, then delivering a devastating finishing blow, where his head was almost chopped off. After this fight, he set his sights on fighting against the boxer Ippo lost to, Alfredo Gonzalez. Before that, he had a strange love story with his middle school teacher, and they flew to Mexico to personally challenge Gonzalez to a match, without knowing any English or Spanish. By pure chance, he stumbled upon Ricardo Martinez while he was sparring and issued a public challenge. Martinez accepted, and Sendo gave Martinez an off-screen down, his very first down in his career. Gonzalez witnessed this and was ready to beat the life out of Sendo. However, they decided to handle this on a professional ring, with the winner getting a chance to face Martinez for the title in the future. Sendo of course won the match, sacrificing his fist in the process, and was given a shot to face Martinez in the future. In this current state of the manga, he is sparring with Mayata in preparation for his match against Martinez. Now the next opponent is no one significant. It is Okida, the boxer who admired Date. After his loss to Ippo, he had another match where he was the opening act for Date's rematch with Ricardo Martinez, and he fought Shimabukuro in the Class A tournament, where he lost and then retired at some point off screen. He is mostly seen in the background next to Date and is now a trainer in Date's gym. Who is more interesting, however, is Saeki. After his loss to Ippo, he also lost to Sendo for the Japanese title. After about 500 chapters, we see Saeki again, ranked in the OPBF, participating in the Class A tournament alongside Karasawa and Itadaki. He managed to make it all the way to the finals, where he faced off against Itadaki in the battle for the fastest featherweight in the world. Saeki almost won the fight, but Itadaki was more determined to prevent anyone from facing Ippo for the championship, and managed to defeat Saeki in the same exact way Ippo did. Saeki then retired from boxing after his match against Itadaki. Now we get to cover a fan favorite, the White Fang himself, Volk. As you guys know, he came to Japan for monetary reasons alone to save his mother from an illness. After his loss to both Ippo and Sendo, he initially retired and returned to his home country. But after his mother passed away, he had nothing to lose anymore and decided to pursue something he was passionate about, this time giving his best. After a brief stop in Japan, he went to America, where he was taken care of by Daneki. Even though Volk was immediately world ranked after returning to boxing, he did not get a title shot due to boxing politics for 2 years, despite being ranked first. It was only after one world champion, Elliot Mike, witnessed Volk's potential firsthand that he issued a challenge to fight Volk for the title. Volk had only 1 week to prepare for his fight and was knocked down in the first round. However, relying on pure strategy and technique, he managed to down the Olympic boxer. He believed that he won the fight, but the referee sabotaged the match by helping the unconscious Elliot Mike to get up, avoiding a loss. This rightfully upset Volk, who went out of control to beat Elliot senselessly. Volk came close to losing the match, but in the end, Mike was knocked out for good, and Volk was the sole boxer standing in the ring securing the victory. Volk is the first boxer from Ippo's generation to become a world champion, and has been a successful champion since, defending his championship multiple times. But as for world champions, the same could not be said about Eiji Date, the first but not the last boxer Ippo lost to. As you guys know, after Date defended the Japanese title against Ippo, he moved up to the world stage to challenge Ricardo Martinez. Despite giving a decent performance, he was ultimately forced to retire again, this time for good. From the Martinez fight, he needed plastic surgery for his jaw since it was completely broken. However, the man himself is doing very well. He has opened up his his own boxing gym. Besides that, Date has some of the funniest scenes whenever he's on screen and steals the spotlight whenever he appears. Ippo then defeated a foreign boxer to test the Dempsey role for the first time, and we never see that boxer again. Then we get into Ippo's first opponent he defended the title from, Kazuki Sanada. He was the previous junior featherweight champion before relinquishing the title to challenge Ippo for the featherweight title. Even though he studied medicine, he had this deep passion for boxing and was very talented in it, which is why Daniki wanted to train him because he saw the potential in him. After he ultimately lost to Ippo, he retired from boxing and continued his studies in medicine. In a completely removed arc involving Takamura's detached retina that was cut from the anime, Ippo seeks information about the effects of having a detached retina and sought Sanada's help to understand it further. Later down the story, Sanada trained and coached Karasawa, Ippo's upcoming opponent, in preparation for his Japanese title fight, where Karasawa ultimately lost. The last time we see Sanada is when he attended to watch the match between Itadaki and Karasawa in the Class A tournament, and he presumably became a doctor at this point. Overall, even though he isn't a significant character, he returned throughout the story. But the same thing could not be said about Gero Michi. After his fight with Ippo, I thought that we would see glimpses of Gero Michi's improvements throughout the series. However, after his match against Ippo, we never see Gero Michi again, except for one panel, where he is shown as Takamura journeys across the city he was living in. It's kind of disappointing. We don't know if he improved or even retired from boxing ever since his fight against Ippo. Next is Ippo's opponent he fought before Takamura's fight against Hawk. This guy is just cannon fodder, so he is not important. Another character who was kind of a cannon fodder in terms of plot and pacing is Shimabukuro. His entire build-up arc was cut from the anime. In the manga we learned that he defeated Okita in the Class A tournament to earn his right to challenge Ippo for the title. After his fight against Ippo, he also announced that he was retiring, so we only see a single panel of him as well when Takamura journeys across the city. Also, he's a fake natty. You cannot convince me that this guy with this physique is a featherweight. He was definitely taking some juice and vitamins to look like that. Ippo's next opponent is the notorious Sawamura, and his development is one of the most tragic of all. After his loss to Ippo, he moved up the weight class and challenged Mashiba for the junior lightweight title. Mashiba, of course, accepted the offer because Sawamura knew Mashiba would seek revenge and got the free title shot. Both of them were attempting to end each other's lives in the fight, continuously cheating and using dirty tactics to hurt each other. After both of them were barely standing on their feet, the unconscious Mashiba was just too bloodlusted to keep his composure and pummeled Sawamura with hard punches until he threw Sawamura out of the ring. Sawamura survived the incident and looked alright, winning the championship via disqualification. Sawamura felt like he no longer had anything to prove in this world, so he took his motorcycle out, sped too fast and was involved in a crash. At first I thought that this was it for Sawamura and he was gone for good. Turns out he survived with stitches in his face and subsequently could no longer compete in boxing. He appeared to watch Miyata and Renny Boy Jr.'s match for the OPBF title and recently is there to watch Mashiba's world title fight against Marcos Rosario. It appears that Sawamura has finally rehabilitated from his psychotic past and is able to enjoy himself. Ippo's most dominant display of power was in his fight against Karasawa, where he defeated Karasawa with minimal effort in just 2 rounds. Almost 400 chapters later, we get reintroduced to Karasawa, who fought Itadaki in the Class A tournament and ultimately lost the bout. He later retired from boxing. Ippo's last fight before heading for the Pacific region was against the veteran Take. Ippo had to overcome tricks and strategies he had never faced before, fighting the oldest looking 30-year-old man who just wouldn't go down until he finally did. After this fight, Take retired from boxing and focused on training his son to become a great boxer for the upcoming generation. Ippo's first fight in the Pacific region was against Jimmy Sisfa, the Thai featherweight champion at the time and the boxer Miyata faced during his time in Thailand. Since his fight against Miyata, Jimmy had found God and become literally insane. The fight was a literal no-brainer where both exchanged blows relentlessly until one of them collapsed, which happened to be Jimmy. After the fight, Ippo was called the God of Wind, or Fujin. Jimmy appeared to come in terms with his God and revealed that he would retire from boxing. Ippo's next challenger in the Pacific region was the Philippine featherweight champion, the magician Malcolm Ghetto. Before the fight, Ghetto wanted to bet 3 million yen, which in today's money would be around $50,000. Ippo refused and beat the crap out of Ghetto until Ghetto's stupid face almost broke in hell. After the fight, Ippo and Coach Komogawa still gave the 3 million yen to him, where this smuggy guy still behaved like a douchebag and didn't learn his lesson at all. Almost a year later, Ghetto lost his title via decision against another of Ippo's upcoming opponents, Antonio Guevara. Guevara, and it appeared that he also retired from boxing completely. Ippo's last fight in the Pacific region was against the Indonesian featherweight champion Woli. Throughout the match, Ippo was continuously beaten up and only managed to win because Wally was too tired to continue. After his fight with Ippo, Wally continued to have one match after another, almost a match per month, until he was world ranked and faced Ricardo Martinez for the World Featherweight Championship. Wally was confirmed to be the boxer who gave Martinez the most challenge in a fight, managing to force Martinez to use a serious boxing style for the first time ever. However, Wally was knocked out and permanently blinded in one eye after his fight with Martinez, which forced him to retire from boxing. Ippo's last Japanese title defense was against the previous lightweight boxer Hisato Kojima. Kojima talked big trash about Ippo's opponents at Coach Kamugawa, which angered Ippo into fighting with determination. Kojima managed to land what he claimed to be a 2-ton punch on Ippo, who endured it and retaliated with the most devastating punch of his career. Kojima had no recollection of the fight due to the impact, and was genuinely saddened to realize he could never box again after facing Ippo. Things didn't go as planned when Ippo faced Alfredo Gonzalez. Coach Kamugawa saw Gonzalez as the key to finally facing off against the world champion Ricardo Martinez, only to be humbled when Gonzalez turned out to be a formidable opponent himself. Alfredo had only suffered 2 losses, both of the hands of Martinez, and he wouldn't allow anyone to challenge Martinez without first defeating him. Gonzalez was particularly insulted by Ippo's straightforward boxing style, lacking a strategy or self-defense, which only enraged him further. Despite Ippo giving Gonzalez a tough fight, he was brutally knocked out, ending his chance to advance on the world stage. Gonzalez later tried to negotiate with Martinez for a third title shot but was shot down. Upon witnessing Martinez's first knockdown in his career by Sendo, Gonzalez faced Sendo in a match where he showcased his strategic and aggressive boxing style. Despite his efforts, Gonzalez couldn't defeat Sendo. After his fight with Sendo, Gonzalez accepted his fate and passed the torch to Sendo, signaling that he believed that Sendo should be the one to dethrone Martinez. Gonzalez subsequently retired from boxing. Ippo's last opponent was the new Philippine featherweight champion Antonio Guevara. Ippo attempted to use the newly evolved Dempsey roll to defeat Guevara, but due to the accumulated damage to his head, a wrong mindset, and Guevara's determination to win at all costs, Ippo ultimately lost the fight and retired afterwards. As for Guevara, he remains on the world stage, continuing his boxing career, and there's a possibility we may see him again in the future. But what are your thoughts on Ippo's opponents and where they are in life? Leave a comment down below, and if you've enjoyed this video, then please leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more Hajime no Ippo content. I'm the Reading Crow, and thanks for watching.